Alright, Wesley, how you doing? Alright, you still a journalist, aye? Still interested in the topic of unidentified flying objects or universally accepted piffle? I know you've been following up on the UAP stuff and believing hook, line and sinker every word that falls out of the former intelligence officer Luis Elizondo's mouth, even though his claims do not stand up to scrutiny when facts and evidence is applied. So Wesley, if you're such a journalist and you're such, you know, you have such a passion for this subject, why are you believing the lies of a former intelligence officer from the Pentagon who has been put into the UFO community to go around telling a big pack of lies and spread disinformation? Do you realise really what is going on just now, Wesley? Have you any idea up here what is going on? The intelligence community is now moving into the UFO community and taking over. Luis Elizondo is being showboated around the UFO community as if he is a fucking messiah. And he's not, he's a naughty boy. I want to know, Wesley, you tell me this, if you're such an amazing investigative journalist, you tell me this. How is it possible that Luis Elizondo worked for the Pentagon between the years of 2008 and 2017, trying to determine the origins of UAPs and what exactly they are, and how Luis Elizondo now, after leaving the UAPTF and leaving the Pentagon, is going around telling everybody that while he was there, they were still trying to figure this out between the years of 2007 or 2008, I believe he joined, but 2008 and 2017, and how he is currently today telling everyone, that's exactly the situation we find ourselves in now with our executive branch and our lawmakers trying to determine the origins of these things, and that's exactly where we're at today, quote unquote. So how is that physically possible? How is that physically possible when STS-103 took place in December 1999 and these alien entities were 2 feet away from the Hubble Space Telescope as it was being deployed back into orbit, and how it was possible for this solid structured physical craft to be sitting alongside Discovery since the back of 5 p.m. up until 11 o'clock at night, and NASA were unable to identify the fact that they had this craft pulled up in their immediate vicinity, docked beside them. Can you explain that to me, Leslie? Can you explain to me how it is possible that NASA were unaware of that craft in 1999, and how a full 8 years later, when ATIP was established, that they couldn't put 2 and 2 together and go, hold on a minute, we're trying to establish what these things are. Maybe they're the same things that we're friends with up in orbit every time we go up there and perform missions and repair missions to Hubble, and these guys come along and interact with us. So, if you really are enthusiastic about this subject and you really are an investigative journalist, then why are you following hook, line and sinker for what you're being told? It's your job to be, I think the clue is in the term investigative journalist. It's not just a title, it's meant to be like an explanation of what you do. But all I see here is somebody that posts stuff that other people, somebody wrote a post on UFOs. Oh, here's a post by this person. Ooh. So you're not doing the UFO community any favours by repeating the lies that you are being told by the Pentagon official that has decided to wash his hands of the nonsense. So listen, you need to get your finger out. You need to suddenly stop and go, well, wait a minute, 2007 happened 8 years after 1999, and NASA had clear interaction with aliens in orbit during 1999. So how is it possible that the Pentagon and the DoD are still trying to determine the origins of UAPs when they were actually interacting with them in orbit a full 8 years beforehand? Can you answer that, Leslie? Please, can you answer that? Or if you can't, would you like to investigate it and then try and come up with the answers? That would be nice. So stop bigging yourself up as some sort of investigative journalist that's interested in UFOs, when all you're doing is going about repeating the nonsense and the lies that you are being told. The facts say different, Leslie. And I've been doing this for 22 years now. So, when did we start taking the word of a former intelligence officer over a close-range eyewitness? Who are you going to trust? What have I got to gain through this? Nothing. What's he got to gain through it? Spreading disinformation. Yes, Leslie. So please, please wake up. Wake up. Stop believing what Chris Mellon's telling you. Chris Mellon worked during the Clinton administration, and the Clinton administration, funny enough, took place when STS-103 took place. So Chris Mellon knows more than he's telling you. Chris Mellon is part of this big psyop between him, Elizondo, and the Cowboy Joker character, the uneventful idiot, or the eventful idiot, I should call him, or was it the accidental artist? Sorry, beg your pardon. Jeremy Corbell, yes, the guy that spearheaded the disinformation campaign with commercial 737 aircraft and Batman bonds. So, if you want to step away from the Batman bonds and the Tic Tacs and the commercial 737 aircraft shot through bokeh with a night vision scope, then maybe we might start making some progress. But when 22 years research into NASA's STS-103 mission and events during the millennium are set aside for the word of someone who worked for the Pentagon, it's a fucking sad day for ufology, Leslie. I will tell you that right now. So you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to the UFO community and the people that you appeal to get your finger out and do some actual proper investigative journalism instead of just lapping up what you're told by former intelligence officers that worked for the Pentagon. You told me personally, Luis Elizondo used to work for the government. He's totally trustworthy. And there is the problem. So, Leslie, as I say, if you're that interested in this subject, then it's time you did some investigative journalism instead of just posting UFO stories and being a talking head on the subject. Actually do some investigating. I know you've got some intelligence in there, and it would be nice to actually see it getting exercised. So it's a sad day when somebody like me with no formal investigative journalism skills can outshine seasoned investigative journalists that pretend they've got an interest in this subject. So please start applying yourself, and just for God's sake, wake up, women. You're being fed a lot of porkies, and it's driving me up the wall. So you really need to stop what you're doing. Think for a second and think, well, that's actually a cliff edge I'm driving towards at full speed here. Maybe if I continue along this current trajectory, I will go right over the edge. And you're doing a fine job at the moment, Leslie. So I'm just here to try and tell you, hey, cliff ahead, stop, brake. You need to reassess what you're doing, because you're only facilitating disinformation going into the UFO community, and your public hearings are a bag of shit. It is an absolute joke. We've seen the public hearings at Congress where they spent so much time discussing an aluminium plastic foil balloon that happened to fly past an aircraft which was travelling about 350 mile an hour, and that was being carried in a crosswind of maybe 40-50 mile an hour. So they pass each other at 400 mile an hour and it looks amazing, but in reality it's just a balloon being carried on a crosswind. So please, for the love of God, stop promoting the universally accepted piffle. Get your finger out and start looking at the real McCoy and listening to what I've got to say, because I'm sick of trying to put my hand up and say, whoa, Wesley, hey, here's the real fucking bona fide, legit, full boona, real McCoy stuff. But no, Tic Tacs, Luis Elizondo, Oh, what's he got to say? Get a grip. Get a grip.